Hello, I'm Kabalama and this is episode 11 of Rule the Waves 2 Let's Play Japan. And to recap, during the last episode, which was episode 10, we fought France. Nothing really happened during the war because we didn't move our fleet over to where they were in Europe, and they didn't move anything over to Southeast Asia. So there were a few inconclusive battles, but we were mostly fighting trade warfare against them. We sunk a load of their merchant ships. We did agree to make peace, which I think now was a mistake, because if we had not agreed that, they would have collapsed a few months later because all their trade was disrupted, and we would have got a much better peace deal. So that's by the by. Let's have a look at what our situation is now. Now we have a negative monthly balance, but part of the reason for that is because all our ships are in Southeast Asia and most of them are not in mothballs. And the first thing we're going to do is these pre-dreadnoughts we're all going to scrap because they're not really any use to anyone anymore. So let's scrap these ships. And now let's move all our ships back to Northeast Asia. So we're moving all our ships back to Northeast Asia. Our balance is now up, and let's play the move. And our new battleship, the Saharan, has finished her working up, so that's good. Secondary director on CLs. And we've now moved our ships back, so let's put a few of them in mothballs or reserve. So we've put a load of our ships in mothballs or reserve, and now we have lots of money, which is excellent. So we're just about to produce a new battleship, which I'm going to see what the design was. This is called the Qingtao. And let's look at the Qingtao here. It's got 8 16-inch guns, built in Britain, and for some reason that's gone all wrong, and I don't know why that is, but it seems to like the design. I think that seems to be a bug in the system. Anyway, we're building the Qingtao soon, so we're going to build that. USA is sounding us out about an alliance. The Prime Minister thinks this can make it possible to save on defence expenditures. What is your response? Well, we would like an alliance. Ideally, I'd like an alliance with Britain against America, but an alliance with America and maybe hostile to France would be quite nice, or hostile to Russia. Yes, this is an excellent idea. Now I'm going to rework this design because I'm not happy about it. Why is it saying these things that it's not got the right level of armament? So that's 28 knots speed, magazine box, torpedo defences 2, improved director for secondary armament, dual purpose tertiary guns. That all seems to be fine. Let's see if we could build that in America instead. And that gives us a 328 and Britain is 399. So Britain is slightly better than the USA in terms of their technology. But, oh look, we could have better torpedo defences. Oh, that's Germany. Britain has only got 2 torpedo defence. Let's look at America for directors. They've got improved directors. Can we have... No, we can't. So, we'll build this thing in America. That needs a bit more displacement. Well, that's fine because we've got more displacement. And oh, their 16-inch guns are -1. Well, I don't really like -1 guns, so I'm going to move it down to 15-inch guns. Can we have an extra turret? Now, it looks like we can have an extra oh, that's only got 1 gun on it. Let's increase the guns. Increase the guns to 47. No, we're -2,900. We're going to get rid of that turret. And we're going to we'll give it a fair bit of leeway for extra. We're going to give it 2 aircraft. We might as well give it a seaplane hangar. Can we have catapults? Yes, we can. We're going to have a catapult on it. That'll help us launch our aircraft without the ship having to slow down. That means we have to reduce our IA. Can we have the better torpedo mounts? No, we can't. And how are we? Yes, that's all okay. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to build the Qingtao in America. And that'll take another 4 moves, during which time these destroyers are going to be building. So I think we can build some more destroyers. So the Fubusa class destroyer is based on the Fubuki, but it's built in the USA and it's got 10 torpedo tubes, and the secondary guns, the 2 4-inch guns, are dual purpose, and we've also got directed firing for our main armament. So it's a more powerful ship, and we're going to build that. Does that work? Yes, it does. That's the Fubusa. So we've got the Fubusa and the Qingtao. Fubusa is ready for construction. Go to the build screen. Now we're going to build 2 to start off with, and we're renaming that the FU-16 because the Fubusa is really a continuation of the Fubuki. So let's play the next go. There's been a political murder in the Balkans. Should we just demand the guilty are brought to justice, which gives us more budget? Diplomatic solution, again, more budget. Or should we just ramp up the tension? I think there's going to be a diplomatic solution because that gives us more budget without much extra tension. Advances in armour development, that's good. Light forces anti-torpedo warfare. Quad torp mounts. Combat supply loading, that's another one that's good. And we'll go to the build screen. This is the Qingtao, and we're going to call it Qingtao, and that's using up most of our money, but we can still build one extra destroyer. So while we're at it, we're going to get rid of some of these old submarines that have only got a 49 reliability or below, so let's scrap those. That'll save us a bit of money, and with this extra bit of money, another destroyer. So that's the FU-18 being built, and the Qingtao seems to be taking up most of our money. The amount of money we've got allocated for construction is 7,500, of which most is going on this battleship. Maybe our next battleship will be bigger. We will certainly have bigger docks, and maybe the next battleship will be built in Japan, and maybe it will have another 3rd turret, because this one's got 8 16-inch guns, which is okay, but it's not wonderful. Now, do we want a war against Borneo? These two increase tension, or we should not risk raising tension. Actually, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the almanac. Germany have got more ships than us. They're a lot bigger than us at the moment, and I think their ships are probably a bit better than most of ours. Well, no, they've mostly got 13-inch guns. We've got 15-inch guns. So they've got 15-inch guns on these 3. These look quite decent ships. They're actually as well armed as our Qingtao with 8 15-inch guns. They've got worse armour. They're quite formidable ships. We don't really want a war with Germany. We do want a war with France or Russia or Britain, though. So that's who we need to watch out for. We need this technology. We always need technology. This is the new German possession, which is outside our range. But the British possessions of Hong Kong and Weihai Wei are within our range, and we would very much like to get them. If we get Hong Kong, that makes the French possessions in our range, so we can get those as well. And if we were to beat the British, we might be able to get, for example, Singapore or Malaya, which would also be very desirable, because Singapore would allow us to attack Borneo. So I think we're going to try for an attack on Britain soon. Our Navy needs the best technology money can buy. Industrialisation improves national resources. Destroyer commissioned. Better torpedoes, 5,000 metres at 38 knots. 40mm cannon, which historically is better than Japan had. They used a 25mm gun, which they bought from the French, which wasn't very good because it had a fairly slow rate of fire, and also because it was quite a heavy weapon, they couldn't train it towards targets very fast. Counterintelligence believes that France has stolen technology in light forces and torpedo warfare. We should send a diplomatic note in the strongest possible language. So that's increased our tension with France. Let's bump up tensions. Let's bump up spying on the countries we don't like, so that hopefully that will also increase tensions as well. Another destroyer commissioned. Now the Westland Walrus has a top speed of 102 and a radius of 98. Let's compare that to our ships. Early air launch torpedoes. So let's look at our types. We've got the flying boat with a speed of 68 and a range of, well, a light range of 211, and our float plane scout, which is the nearest equivalent, has about the same as theirs, but we can now build torpedo bombers, and we're also going to, after that, we're going to build medium bombers as well. So we want 4 torpedo bombers, we want bomb load and range, and we're now going to build, when we can afford it, we're going to build an aircraft carrier. So these two are finishing building fairly soon, and we've got quite a lot of money in the bank, so that's going to be an aircraft carrier fairly soon. Go for the win. So the British carrier battlecruiser Furious has got 916 guns, and that's compared to our newest ship with 8 15-inch guns, so they're better armed than us. Their secondary armour is 12 5-inch, whereas we've got 24 6-inch, which is clearly better than theirs. Their armour is only 11-inch, whereas ours is 20-inch over the magazines and 10-inch over the rest of the hull. So their armour is inferior to us as far as magazines go, and we could probably penetrate their magazines and cause a magazine explosion, which would beat them. They've only got directors, whereas we're getting improved directors, so we're slightly better in that respect. So it's a decent ship, but nothing to be enormously concerned about. Convoy system. And we've still got more money. And now that these are all about to continue to complete, we're now going to build an aircraft carrier. So it's going to be actually we'll build a CV. And is that fine? No, we can't. We can't build large aircraft carriers. Okay, we'll build a CVL. That's okay. We're going to bump this up to 34. The speed wants to be 29, and we'll give it some torpedo defences. It doesn't seem to like that. We'll make the armour a bit thinner. In fact, we won't bother with armour. And what do we need to increase that to? That's happy. We need to... Can we have catapults? We probably can't. No. We'll increase this to the maximum. These should be dual purpose and they're not, which is annoying. No, if we build it, we don't have dual purpose 4-inch guns. I want to build this at home. We'll just keep these ones. Actually, we'll add the corresponding port equivalents. Let's get rid of that. So these are now symmetrical. And the British have got a CVO called the Avenger, which has only got 27 aircraft, and it's also not particularly fast. It has got dual purpose guns, which we don't have. We maybe should have built the Ryuju in America, but I wanted to build it locally. Torpedo bomber prototypes. They've both got the same bomb load. This one's got a heavier range and is tougher, so we're going to go for that one, I think. The Yokohama one. Go to the build screen. Ryuju. Okay, so that's that, and I think we're going to build two of these actually. So we're now building two Ryuju class light aircraft carriers, and these two destroyers will finish fairly soon, and the two carriers will finish at the same time as our battleship, which is good by all means. Dual purpose mounting for 3-inch and 4-inch guns, that's good. And we're losing about 1,200 a month, so we'll run out of money in about 30 months, but all these ships will continue before then, so that's not a problem. We need to increase the size of our docks, so we're going to do that. Unexpected problems. A scandal involving some important dignitaries from France has occurred. Use it to embarrass France, because we always like embarrassing the French. We need that technology. Motor torpedo boats enables building of MTB squadrons. Actually, while I remember it, I'm going to increase our bases in Formosa. The reason for that is so that we can put more ships there. It's one of those things I keep forgetting to do. It's actually quite annoying. AON armour, Air Sea Rescue. Torpedo bomber is ready for operational service, that's good. And we're going to look at our next aircraft, which is going to be a medium bomber. And again, our priority is bomb load and then range. Once we've done that, we'll probably, the flying boat and the float plane scout are quite old, so we may replace them with newer aircraft. Hull construction. We can't manage that within the budget. We should build railroads. Transverse arrestor wires. Let's see what we're building. We're now 9 months away from these ships being built. Reduce finance for the Navy to build a new palace. That reduces budget but increases prestige. That reduces prestige. And that increases tension. Well, we want tension. And we'll send a diplomatic note because we don't like the French spying on us, and we don't care if we have a war with France. In fact, we would welcome a war with France, or with Russia, or with Britain. The Russian government delivers us sharply worded protests over our intelligence activities. We need that technology. New medium bomber prototypes. In terms of range, this one seems to be a bit better. And bomb load, they're about the same. This one's more manoeuvrable as well, the Mitsubishi XMB or XMB11. So we'll have that one. And now we're going to, our oldest ship is this flying boat, so we're going to have a flying boat. And these want to have a long range, and it would be nice if they were quite fast as well. We need the best technology money can buy. So the new heavy cruiser has 9 10-inch guns, and it's got a secondary armament of 14 5-inch, but they're not dual purpose. They could have had 4-inch dual purpose guns, but they don't have them. And it's got 4.5-inch armor, which is a bit on the thin side. It's probably roughly equivalent to our heavy cruisers, which I'm just going to look at here, the Maya and the Myoko, which they've got a heavier belt, they've got lighter guns, but they've got 12 of them instead of 9, and they've also got both 6-inch and 4-inch secondary armament. I know that this is an old design. Our newer heavy cruisers will be a better design than that. I think that now that these ships are about to complete, I'm going to rebuild my battleships. If we look at my old battleships, so for example the Setsu has only got directors and not advanced directors, and the same is true of, say, even the Saharin, which is quite a modern ship, has only got the old directors. The Potoasa has the old directors as well, so we need that technology. Improved director. Make the agent a national hero. That's bumped up tensions with Russia. Looks like our next war is going to be against Russia, so let's have a look what the Russians have got. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ships, 12 battleships. Against our 9 and 1 building. In terms of weight of ship, they've got 146 and 100, and they've got 108 and 215. So they've got a heavier weight of ship than us altogether, and their ships are more modern than ours for the simple reason that we sank all their older ships, or most of their older ships. A lot of them have got 13-inch guns. Let's have a look at this one. This has got a broadside of 10 and 13-inch guns, which is quite a heavy broadside. It's also got a reasonable turn of speed, 25 knots. So that's not a ship to be sniffed at. Their newest ship, the Retseven, has got 8 14-inch guns, which is a bit light since we're armed with 15 or 16-inch guns. It's also got a lightweight belt, so we can easily beat it. And its armor is its speed is only 27 knots. So we can outrun it as well. So we've got nothing to fear from the Retseven. The Foxshani and the Hotin, again 8 14-inch gun armament, heavier armour, a 13-inch belt, and they're faster at 30 knots. So that's a better ship than ours. But they don't seem to have anything that's really wonderful. These two Chesma classes, they're a lot heavier, so they're probably better armed. They're probably 15 or 16-inch guns. So I'm not really fussed about the Russians. I don't think the Russians are a vast threat to us. That puts our base capacity at 200 there. If we look at the area overview, our strength here in Northeast Asia is 146, which is where most of our ships are. And we've got a base capacity in Southeast Asia of greater than that, so we should be okay for ships for deploying our ships there. We can blow up one of the capital ships at Russia at anchor. An excellent idea. These chaps are showing the right spirit. I'd laugh if we did that. And so we've got these two ships building. What we want to do now that we've got a bit of money is improve some of our older ships. So we're going to rebuild the Shori in America, and we're going to give it lots of anti-aircraft guns, and we're going to make the tertiary guns dual purpose. Can we have the deck mounted torpedoes? No, we can't. So that's as best as we can do for that one. It's got an improved director, and it's got AA guns, better AA guns. We could have improved main guns. Should we do that? if we do, see that costs more money, but it's only 6 months, so I think that's worth doing. It's always good to have better guns. And let's go on to the next move. We managed to blow up one of their destroyers. Unfortunately, the saboteurs left track that leads back to our Naval Intelligence Department. And another aircraft carrier commissioned. Maybe the charity should institute relief for the poor. Amphibious operations, Higgins boats. That increases our range for amphibious invasions. So we've got a new flying boat. So this one's got a range of 249 and that's 233. That one's also faster. So that's what it's going to be. And we're now at war with Russia. That's good. Always wanted a war with Russia. So looking at the map, Russia have got a lot of their forces in Northeast Asia, where they've got 4 battleships and 3 battle cruisers. They've also got significant forces in Northern Europe, where they've got 3 battle cruisers. So what we need to do is mobilise all our forces and go into the trade warfare immediately with submarines and with our raiders. So that's put some ships on raiding. We're also going to have a look at our aircraft carriers because we want to give them lots of aircraft. Auto add aircraft, that gives fighters and torpedo bombers to that one, and auto add aircraft here. And we need to put some aircraft onto our airbase at Takao. Flying boats, fighters and torpedo bombers, that's what it puts as the default value, which is good. And we want to see if we can build any more air bases. The Russians are based down here, so probably the best place to build one is Sasebo and maybe Hakodate as well. So let's build air bases at Sasebo and Hakodate. Sasebo, build, and Hakodate, build. And once we've built those air bases, we will populate them with aircraft. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have done a surprise attack on them here, which is not as good as I would like, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And we need to put some ships into trade protection, so that's all these. Trade protection, and that's only 2 above, so we'll put some of our old destroyers into trade protection as well. Trade protection. So I think that's everything I can do for now. These 2 aircraft carriers are still working up. That one is an old one and it's got 14 fighters. This one has got 5 float planes. So that's what we can do for now. We would like to have reconstructed all our ships. That's going to be ready in 5 goes. That's going to be ready in 1 month. So we're happy with a war with Russia. Cruiser action, accept. Some ships from the USA have joined our force. So let's see what we've got. We've got some battleships, an American battleship. Our main battle group is there. That's a battle cruiser. Well, that's good. So let's... Unknown ship sighted. And his ship is between ours, so that's interesting. So we've moved up these ships to move towards this one. These ships, which are the American ships, are also going to move towards the enemy as well. So let's see what the enemy's got. Unfortunately, it's now nightfall. The enemy seems to have some ships over here as well. I don't really want to use my battleship to encounter the enemy, so the battleship's going to go that way. And we have contact with an unknown ship, or unknown ships. And our battleships are going to turn away again because I don't want to be torpedoed particularly. We've got 1 battle cruiser and a destroyer and 3 other ships. Okay, so we can move that a bit towards them. Let's see what our other ships are doing. These are the American ships. they're going to go full speed towards the enemy. What, do we know which battle cruiser it is? No, we don't. And I'm going to put flotilla attack in so I can torpedo his battle cruiser here. The ship seems to be torpedoed. Been torpedoed twice. I hope none of the torpedoes hit our battleships, because that would be rather embarrassing. And we've been hit by a Russian torpedo from one of their destroyers. That's not good. But the Americans are coming up to our rescue. Let's see where the Katori is. It's got quite a lot of flooding, but it's good that we're close to one of our bases here, so that even if we are flooded out, I'm actually going to probably get that one just to return to base. That's probably his battleship. My cruiser will attack his destroyer, which is heavily damaged, and these destroyers, they've got a few torpedoes left, so they can attack his battleship. And we've got the American destroyers coming in here. They can all turn together, so they're gonna, those destroyers are going to form a formation there. This cruiser will be attacking this destroyer. Here's my cruiser bearing up. This is the Mogami in Britain, built in Britain, which has got a director. It's scored 8 hits with 6-inch guns, and with its 4-inch guns it scored 11 hits. That's probably mostly against their destroyers. It's got a current speed of 21, it's got a maximum speed of 29, it's not been hit by anything, so that seems to be quite a good ship. And it seems to be hitting his destroyer, the Zhivoy. So I'm quite pleased with that. And the Katori is now being detached from my main fleet. I'm going to move the Katori away so it doesn't try to reattach itself. And the reason for that is that my main fleet is going to go back to his battle cruiser, whereas the Katori, these destroyers, this is the American battle cruiser, which will also attack his ship. And look, we've got some other of his ships there. Well, that's interesting. That can go towards his battle cruiser, which is a Rimnik, and has got 2 turrets destroyed, whereas these destroyers can go a bit further down here. He's got 1 ship there which I think is a destroyer. I don't know what these 2 ships of his are. Now this battleship here, the Katori, can go to Tsingtao. He might have some ships around there, but I suspect he probably doesn't. And our CV has very unwisely decided that it wants to get mixed in with this battle. It's very stupid of it. So our aircraft carrier can also, that's going to go south actually. It will go south, it will hook round south and then towards the base at Tsingtao. So let's have a look what we've got and what he's got. He's got some ships here, which we don't know what they are. but we're going to move towards them. We've got this ship here, which is playing silly buggers. It's the Silly Bugger warship. And he's got an unidentified ship here. He's got another ship here. I don't know what that is. And he's got something here as well. I don't like the idea of him having anything close to my aircraft carrier. So that's going to go at max speed away from the fight. God knows where all his ships are, or what all his ships are. These look like destroyers. I don't know what that is. That is probably his battle cruiser. I think I'm going to move all my ships to port because I can't realistically fight this fight. I don't like fighting night battles where you can easily lose a battleship for no gain. So all these ships are going to go to port. Even the American ones. I think I may have sunk a battle cruiser, but I don't actually know what I've done. I much prefer daytime battles because I can actually see what's going on. And if I can see what's going on, I can plan a good fight and beat him. So it's just a matter of waiting for the end of this. And that's the end of the battle. Let's see what the result was. He had 2 battleships and a battle cruiser. We sunk his battle cruiser. We sunk 4 destroyers. We lost 2 destroyers. I think I made the right decision in going to port. We could have encountered his battleship or his destroyers with our battle cruisers, and we could easily have lost a big ship. So I think I'm quite happy with that decision. Let's see how badly disarmed his ship was. So the Navarin was hit by 16 heavy hits, 35 light hits, 35 medium, 20 light and 3 torpedoes. That's good. And our ships seven hits, 1 hit, 7 hits. They all seem to do quite well for hitting things. And the American battleship has scored 1 hit. Okay, that's a reasonable battle. I'm happy with that result. Leave scenario. We've now got valuable insights into US machinery development technology, gun and mountings, torpedo warfare, but it's somewhat overweight. Baffled by improved director. Got a new medium bomber, which is very good. Ship sunk by mine, and we've sunk 18 enemy merchant ships, and we've also sunk 5 with our raiders, so we're winning the trade war. So that's good. And that's the end of this episode. So thank you for watching episode 11 of Rule the Waves 2 Let's Play Japan. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you like it. So bye for now, and I'll see you on the next episode.